Hello, my friends. Today I've got a good one for you. Loaded, the 2022 Topps Update secrets. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. First, I'm going to do the value series. We're going to look at all the prices and figure out the best bang for your buck, which format is the best for what you're looking for. Then we're going to talk about the production. How much of this stuff did they actually make? Then we're going to talk about the current single prices, the prices for the singles on eBay. This is just after about a week, so the prices are early, but we're going to explore and see if there's any value to be had. If you're ready, then I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, this is the value sheet for anybody new. The first row right here is the format. We've got jumbo, hobby, blaster, and hanger boxes. That's all I've got to work with right now. The second row is the price per format. Now, I had to do a little bit of fudging with the numbers because there is something to account for. It's the silver pack. The silver pack does have value, so I need to subtract the price of the silver pack off of all these numbers so we've got apples to apples comparisons. So the current prices on blowout are as follows. We've got $100 for a hobby box and $240 for a jumbo box. We're going to use those numbers right now as of 11/4/22. The numbers might change. The silver pack has a value. Currently, they go for about $20 to $25 on eBay. I wouldn't recommend buying those silver packs because they're easy to feel the thick cards in there and you can weigh them out. So don't buy single silver packs, but they do have about a $20 value. So if we're at $240, the low, you subtract two silver packs out of that, we've got about $200, the price per jumbo, okay? And then if that price goes up a little bit, that's why I included this next column right here. Let's say it goes up another $20 for a jumbo box, $25, then we've got this price to work with too. At the $200 price, we'll keep going. So the hobby boxes, we've got $80. So the $20 silver pack, I subtracted off the 100. And that gets us to 80. And if it goes up another 20 bucks, let's say the hobbies are 120, then we've got the $100 price to work with. Blasters are currently about $25. Maybe on the secondary market, you'll pay $30 to $40. So I've got these columns to work with. Hanger boxes, about $12. Maybe they get up to $20, $25. The prices will fluctuate in line with hobby and jumbo. That's why I included these other columns. Okay, the cards per format, we've got 460 cards per jumbo. 336 per hobby, 99 in a blaster, and the hanger boxes are $67. I didn't account for the price of the helmet relic because I don't put a value on that card. Next up, we've got dollar per card, okay? So at the $200 price, the dollar per card is 43 cents in a jumbo, 24 cents in a hobby, 25 cents in a blaster, and the hanger box for the win, 18 cents per card. How many packs? This is relevant because you got to figure out the price per pack for the value sheet. Price per pack on a jumbo, hobby, blaster, and hanger box. Let's get down to the good stuff. The home field advantage cards don't have odds this series, so I don't know the odds, but we can figure out the home field advantage. A little bit about that later to come. Royal Blues are only available in retail. 1 out of 10 blaster packs, 1 out of 3 hanger boxes. The dollar per odds are about the same for a blaster and a hanger box for the Royal Blues. Green is good, red is bad, orange and yellow are somewhere in between. So as we get to row 11, which is the rainbow foils, we can just kind of quickly scan over and see that $24 per rainbow foil is by far the best. By far. It's going to cost you almost twice as much out of a jumbo box to get a rainbow foil. Now, let's just look down the column. I don't really need to discuss this very much more. You can see that the hanger box is by far the best. Let's just touch on a few. The relevant cards that are kind of easy to get, that hold a lot of value. Golds. Golds are 1 in 5 out of a jumbo. That gets us to about $100 per gold. Go over to the hobby box. It's way better in a hobby box. Guys, remember I was telling you don't sleep on the hobby format? Well, look at this. $47 versus $100. And then we can go over, it's a little more expensive out of the blaster format. This is different this year because the blasters are $25, so it makes everything a little bit more expensive. You may remember I've been telling everybody that Blaster's not the best format to go. Now, they were available and they are available on the Target website, so it's just an easy buy. But if you were to hold out for hanger boxes, you'll see that the hanger boxes are banger boxes. Just look at how much better of a deal, even relative to Blaster boxes. So let's go look at one of the harder, more desirable, Independence Day. Now, an Independence Day is going to cost $2,300 out of a jumbo. Only $1,200 out of a hobby box, though. Go over a little bit more to the Blasters. Not that great. Blasters aren't that great. They're not the worst, but they're not the best by a long shot. And actually, Blaster may be the worst format this year if you take a lot of different things into account. And by far the best, $948. Let's compare that to a jumbo, $2,300. Even over to the hobby, $1,200. So your best way of getting your best bang for your buck is out of a hanger box. There's a couple things we got to talk about, though. Blacks are not available in retail, and this matters because blacks are really desirable and they're not that hard to get out of hobby formats. So you can see 1 out of 129 packs. That's not that bad. And you can look at the red rainbow foil, 1 out of 147. It's actually harder to get a red rainbow foil. And the red rainbow foils are numbered to 299, I think it is. And the blacks are only numbered out of 71. So here's another reason to get hobby is because you can get blacks. They hold a lot of value. They're very collectible. You can also get, out of jumbo boxes, you can get gold foil exclusives. Gold foils fall at 1 out of every other pack. So you're going to get 5 gold foils per jumbo format. And another thing that you can only get that's exclusive is the clear cards only come out of hobby. Clear cards are super collectible. There's only 10 of them. It's a checklist out of 10. We're going to talk about production in a little bit, and we're going to use this clear card format to figure out production. So as you can see, it's not exactly cut and dry, like just buy hanger boxes or just buy hobby boxes. It's not cut and dry. Another thing out of jumbos is you get 2 guaranteed relics, 1 guaranteed auto, but it's not really a guarantee because I've heard of some jumbo boxes not having your auto. Now, you can get a hold of Tops, and they should take care of you. Just make sure you save your box because you have to get the number out of the box. So you're going to have to make up your own mind. What's your goal? Is your goal to get parallels? Is your goal to get autographs? And one more thing we need to talk about, the SPs and the SSPs. Those are really collectible. And we're going to talk about prices coming up really soon. But the SPs, $260 to pull one out of a jumbo, $140 out of a hobby box. Not too bad. Remember, don't sleep on hobby. And blasters, not as good at $150, but holy hanger boxes. It's only going to cost you $108, roughly $100 per short print. And go to the SSPs. These are a lot harder to pull. So, you can't really expect to get an SSP. $7,600 out of a jumbo, $4,200 out of a hobby, $4,400 out of a blaster box. But the hangers, only $3,100 for the super short print, and that's a super collectible card. Okay, next we've got the production 2022 Topps Update production. I'm going to look at how much of this stuff they actually made. The way I figure this out, first of all, because you can't just say, let's look at the odds to pull a 1 of 1, boom, that's how much they made. Nope, this is a little more complex than that because there's hobby production, jumbo production, blaster production, and hanger production. And all of this comes into account when we want to figure out how many SPs, etc. there are. So let's first look at hobby boxes. We can figure out the exact hobby box production by looking at the clear cards. It's a 100 card checklist, and they fall at, and they're numbered to 10. They fall at 1 out of 1,600, 1 in 1,682 hobby packs. That gives us 1.682 million packs, 70,000, roughly 70,000 hobby boxes, about 5,800 hobby cases. Now that we have the hobby production, we can figure out the jumbo production. The black parallels are only available in hobby and jumbo. So we have to figure out the hobby production first and then subtract it. I'll show you. It's 1 out of 129 hobby packs for a black parallel. And there are 23,430 total blacks, because remember, they're numbered to 71. It's a 330 card checklist. In the hobby boxes, there are 13,039 roughly black parallels. And that's how I got that number. So we can subtract 13,039 from the total number, which is 23,430. And that means we have 10,391 blacks left for jumbo boxes. And we do some math here, and we can figure out that there are 40,525 roughly jumbo boxes, which makes 6,754 cases, 6,700 cases, somewhere around there. How many blaster boxes? The way we figure out blaster box production is the helmet relic and the parallel of the helmet relic. We're going to use black. So it's a 50 card checklist, and the blacks are numbered to 299. That would make 2,436,000 packs divided by 7 packs in a blaster box. That makes for about 348,000 blaster boxes that are in existence. The reason why we needed to figure all of the individual production out, which there's no way to figure out hanger boxes that I'm aware of. So we don't know how many hanger boxes there are, but I want to know how many SPs there are of each card. So in hobby, there's about, here's the math, there's about 527 short prints per player in hobby. In jumbos, there's about 410 per player. In blasters, there's approximately 763. I don't know 100% if I'm right on this number, but about 763. How many in the hangers? I don't know, but I mean, we can assume, I'm going to say maybe 1,000. Say there's about 1,000 of them. If this number just kind of keeps ticking up, the total SPs per player, not including the hanger boxes, are 1,700. So let's say 1,700 plus. If you add, roughly 700 more, between 700 and 1,000, I would imagine, you're going to get 2,400 to 2,700 total short prints per player. That's kind of in line with the gold production. We've got 2,200 golds per player. So the short prints should be about the same price as the golds. How many gold foils there are? Now that we know jumbo production, we can figure out about how many gold foils there are. So there's 405,000 roughly jumbo packs. We're going to divide that by 2 because they fall in 1 out of every 2 packs. And that means there's 202,500 of each player. It's a 330 card checklist. That means there's about 613 gold foils of each player. Now, the gold foils are actually a little bit cheaper currently on the market than the golds, and there's way less of them. There's maybe a quarter roughly to a third of the gold foils as there are of the gold numbered to 2020 and the short prints. So in my eyes, the gold foils are slightly undervalued right now, and we'll talk about the individual single prices coming up soon. Silver pack production and silver pack cards. How many of each silver pack mojo parallel are there of each player? Okay, these are the silver pack numbers. There's roughly 70,000 out of hobby, 81,000 out of jumbo, 151,000 silver packs that are in production. Multiply that by 4 because there's 4 cards per pack, and it's a 75 card checklist. So that makes about 8,000 silver pack cards per person. Now you have to subtract autographs and parallels. So this 8,053 number is going to be a little bit lower. So we can say there's between 7 and 8,000, 7 and 7,500 cards per player, which is why the silver pack cards hold quite a bit of value. Let's just compare to past production real quick. These numbers aren't up to date, but I do have some numbers for past products. 2018 Series 1, we had about 6,000 hobby cases. 2018 Series 2, only 4,000 hobby cases. So you see how production drops significantly from Series 1 to Series 2 and even Update. 2018 Update had about the same, okay? So usually there's not a huge drop between Series 2 and Update, but sometimes there is. 2019 Series 1, we had about 4,200 hobby cases, 4,500 jumbos. 2019 Series 2, low production. I've talked about this before, but 2019 Series 2 is an awesome product. And 3,000 hobby cases, 4,200 jumbo cases. 2019 Update, we had about the same production. However, there was a decrease in jumbo 2020 Series 1, we started to get popular. The baseball cards in general started to explode. 2020 Series 1, 5,000 hobby cases and 7,500 jumbo cases. Massive production for Series 1 of 2022 products. 2020 Series 2, the production dropped quite a bit, but they still made a lot of it. And then 2020 update, the numbers actually went up a little bit, which is weird. About 4,350 hobby cases, 7,600 jumbo cases. 2020 update is not a very good product. And I don't have 2021. I lost the numbers for 2021 update, or for 2021 flagship. Now let's talk about some of the singles prices. I looked at these numbers last night. These numbers are going to fluctuate and change. They're not going to be exactly accurate, but we can get a pretty good understanding of what these cards are going for. And these are raw prices. So if you happen to get a PSA 10 of any of these cards, you can add a multiplier of, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 times the price. I guess we can start with Julio. Julio is the big draw. Julio is the ceiling of this product. So rainbow foils are going for about $90 to $100. Gold foils $130 to $195. And now we're talking about the difference between gold foil prices and regular golds is pretty significant. We've got a good discount for gold foils, which I don't think it should be. I think gold foils should be more expensive, but the fact that they're numbered makes people want them more. It gives them some kind of a more desirable feel to it just because they're serial numbered. But I just showed you there's like a third to a quarter less production from golds to gold foils. Now the SPs, they're right in line with golds typically. As I look down this sheet, SPs can actually hold a slightly higher premium than the golds. Julio's SSP, and there's not that many of these, so we don't have a lot to work with, but $1,650 for the SSP Julio raw. Very valuable card. Home field advantage cards are going $200 to $300 a piece. There appears to be a lot of home field advantage cards, and we don't have the numbers. I think actually they excluded the home field advantage odds for a reason, because they didn't want you to see exactly how common they are, and they appear to be quite common. I don't know. I think they're, if I had to guess, this is just a complete off the cuff guess, I would guess they're at least twice as common as the SPs, but I don't know for sure. $200 to $300 on the home field advantage Julio Rodriguez. Let's look at the debut. The sneaky part, one of the sneaky parts about this release is the rookies and rookie debuts for a whole bunch of relevant players. So you'll see that the rookie debut is worth about half as much as the regular rookie. So the Julio debut, $30 to $50 for a rainbow foil, $50 to $80 for a gold foil, $40 to $80. These numbers are all over the place. They're all over the place. And the reason why you can't get a really accurate number is because the condition of a raw card is going to vary wildly. So that you can have a card that might appear to be a gem mint card, like a PSA 10. That card's going to go for more than a card that looks like it's OC and maybe has a soft corner. From a raw standpoint, people aren't going to pay as much for a card that doesn't look like a PSA 10 or that has the potential of being a PSA 10. That's why there's a big gap between these numbers. So the debut, the gold foil, $40 to $80. Let's go down to Bobby. Bobby's the second highest value player. So for his base rainbow foil, $30 to $70. See how it fluctuates wildly. $50 to $85 for a gold foil, $100 to $150 for a gold. And the SP is $100 to $150. The SSP, $80. So look at these prices. It appears that a Bobby card across the board is about half as value as a Julio card. I don't know that should be the case. I think Bobby should be a little bit more valuable. I think his card should be maybe 2/3 of the value as a Julio. Based on his WAR, it kind of makes sense. If you're just using WAR, which people use WAR to determine the value of cards, it kind of makes sense. According to Fangraphs, Julio had like a 5.3, 5.2 WAR, and Bobby had about a 2.3 WAR. So, his WAR is roughly half of Julio's. Kind of makes sense. He's only a little bit older than Julio, so that doesn't matter as much. But let's go down to the rookie debut. Rookie debuts quite a bit less. Julio Rodriguez debuts appear to be a good value relative to the price of the Bobby debuts. 20 to 50 bucks for the rainbow foil. But now we're getting back into the normal prices, 20 to 40 for a gold foil as opposed to the 50 to 80 price. And then 20 to 50 for the gold, which I think this is more in line of what it should be. The relative price is 40 to 80, 20 to 50. Wander Franco debut is, I put him here. It's got a decent amount of value, but actually Jeremy Pena cards are more valuable. So 10 to 15 for a rainbow, 15 to 25 for a gold foil, and 20 to 30 for a gold. I think there's some value in the gold Wander Franco debuts. I think there's some value there. If you can snag a Wander debut for a good price, a gold, I think there's some potential profit there that could be made. Next up, we've got Jeremy Pena. Guys, this release is great. It's so rare that we have a ceiling card like Julio, let alone a secondary ceiling, and then a third ceiling type card. Pena is crushing, and for good reason. His cards are pretty valuable. 20 to 25 for the rainbow foil, 30 to 40 for the gold foil, 50 to 80 for a gold. That's good for from a selling standpoint. And then he's got a base SP, but he doesn't have an SSP. So $75 to $100 for his base SP. He doesn't have a home field advantage that I'm aware of. Let's go down to the debuts, because not only can you get the regular rookie, you can get the debut. 15 to 20 for the rainbow foil debut. His debuts are holding a good amount of value. 20 to 35 for the gold foil, and 30 to 40 for the gold. So look at these gold foil prices relative to his debut, relative to the regular rookie. I feel like there's a little bit of value in the gold foil Jeremy Pena cards right now. Next up, we've got Torkelson, and Torkelson cards have value too. So rainbow foils are going for about 15 bucks. That's kind of in line with the Jeremy Pena debut, but you'll see here that the Torkelson cards are kind of in between a Jeremy Pena rookie and a Jeremy Pena rookie debut, but 20 to $50 in a gold foil, and 38 to 50 in a gold. He does have SPs. They're going for between $25 and $50. He has SSPs, $30 to $450 for the SSP, and $50 to $95 for the home field advantage. His debuts are pretty affordable. 8 to 12 for a rainbow foil, 15 to 20 for a gold foil, 15 to 36 for a gold. Next up, we've got Stephen Kwan. His cards are pretty much in line with Torkelson debuts. They're a little all over the place. Let's just have a look. 8 to 12 for a rainbow foil, so that's right in line with the Torkelson debut. 15 to 30, that's kind of in line with the debut as well for the gold foils. 13 to 39, so that's kind of in line with the Torkelson debut. All in all, Torkelson debut and Stephen Kwan rookies are right about the same. If you value Stephen Kwan higher than Spencer Torkelson, then there's some value to be had there. Oh, he does have SPs. Apparently, I didn't track down the value or the current selling prices of the SPs. Then you've got the Stephen Kwan debuts. They're pretty cheap. You can get Stephen Kwan debuts for a good price. If he's your guy, and you're on a budget, you might look towards the debuts. CJ Abrams is another player that's got some value. He's a sneaky guy to load up on because he's getting lost in the shuffle here, and he's one of the youngest players. Now, he didn't have the highest WAR this year. His WAR was like negative 0.3, but he's only 22 years old. He's really young, super high-end prospect, really high draft pick. So 5 to 10 bucks for his rainbow foil, that's cheap. 15 to 20 for his gold foil, 15 to 30 for the gold. SP's going for about 150, and the SSP 50 to 130. I don't think he has a home field advantage. The debut is dirt cheap. Look at the CJ Abrams debut, 8 to 10 bucks. That's dirt cheap. That's dirt cheap. And then lastly, I'm going to look at Suzuki. There are a lot of other rookies that have similar value to like a CJ Abrams. We've got like Donovan, Thomas, Stott, Bryson Stott's got a little bit of value too. So there are a whole bunch of players in this like Suzuki Abrams tier of guys that have good value to buy, and you're making some profit selling their cards too. So at the current prices for these boxes, it's just good for everybody, I think. So Suzuki, his rainbow foil regular rookies are going for about 10 to 15 bucks, 15 to 18 for the gold foils, and 20 to 30 for the golds. The SPs are pricey, 50 to 70 bucks. So relative to the gold, I think there's value in the golds to 2022 for Suzuki relative to his short print prices. Either his short prints are priced too high or his golds are priced too low. You're going to have to figure that out. 200 to 225 bucks for his SSP. That's not too bad relative to Spencer Torkelson, I guess. About half the price of Spencer Torkelson. And 50 to 75 bucks for his home field advantage. I think that's a little high. I think that's too high for his home field advantage. But if Suzuki's your guy, do what you got to do. And then the debuts, which I forgot to write, 5 to 7 for a rainbow, 5 to 15 for a gold foil, 15 to 20 for a gold. At these prices, I just get his regular rookie in a gold. But that rookie debut card of his is pretty sweet. It's a cool picture of him signing a baseball, I think. So all in all, I hope I could provide you some kind of value out of this video. If you like the video, hook me up with a subscribe, like the video, ring the notification bell so you know when I go live. StrykerBreaks.com is my website. You can support me by becoming a member of the channel. It's only $1.99 a month. Or you can become a slammer. The link is in the description below. Slammers get notified when I list a break. So if you want to get in on the breaks, you got to become a slammer. Thanks for watching. I will catch you all later.